Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3's finale has definitively changed how James T. Kirk and Spock's friendship truly began. Directed by Maja Vervilo and written by Dana Horgan and Davy Perez, Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 Episode 10, New Life and New Civilizations, saw Lieutenant Spock mind meld with LT. Commander James T. Kirk. In Star Trek's Prime Universe canon, Kirk and Spock were first introduced by Ensign Mailto Uhura in Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 6, Lost in Translation. Spock and Kirk may have made a positive impression on each other, but neither would have called the other friend. Spock played a pivotal role in helping acting Captain Kirk regain his command self-confidence in Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 6, The Zealot Who Ate Its Tail. Spock already saw greatness in Kirk, and the Vulcan science officer simply gave James the boost he needed to lead the USS Farragut to rescue the Starship Enterprise. However, Kirk and Spock's eternal friendship really begins in Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3's finale in an unexpected way that redefines their brotherly bond. Lieutenant Spock suggests a mind meld with LT. Commander James T. Kirk in Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3's finale. The Vulcan psychic bond was a solution to the problem of the USS Enterprise and Farragut coordinating exact phaser fire to help Captain Christopher Pike and Captain Marie Beitel on Skygoan. After their minds and thoughts became one, Kirk and Spock perfectly executed their otherwise impossible phaser maneuver. It was a feat of intimate coordination that left the bridge crew of the Starship Enterprise marveling how Spock and Kirk acted in synchronicity. Kirk and Spock's mind meld has another ramification, however. It means their unspoken bond was forged by their mental union as they learned intimate details and gained a unique understanding of each other. Spock learned of Kirk's questionable behavior on Orion's moon, and James discovered the Vulcans' dance lessons with a horrified and embarrassed LT. Lon Noonien Singh, who is also attracted to Kirk. Star Trek Strange New Worlds' new context for Kirk and Spock's friendship is an origin point for every sacrifice, every brotherly moment, and becomes the basis of the unbreakable loyalty between the future captain of the Enterprise and his Vulcan first officer. Although it wasn't the first episode of Star Trek, the original series to air on NBC as intended, technically, Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock's first appearance together is in Star Trek's second pilot episode, Where No Man Has Gone Before. Audiences' intended first glimpse at Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock was the duo playing 3D chess. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3's finale changes the context of Where No Man Has Gone Before, given Kirk and Spock's mind meld and their shared victory on Skygoan. Now, when audiences watch Kirk and Spock's chess match in Where No Man Has Gone Before, it's with the knowledge that Spock knew years prior that Kirk is better than he is at 3D chess. There is now a greater history between the captain of the Enterprise and the Vulcan that determines everything that comes after. It's no secret that the future of the Starship Enterprise belongs to Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, although neither knows this yet in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. The planned ending of Strange New Worlds Season 5 will see Kirk take over the Enterprise from Captain Pike, with Spock at Kirk's side. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3's finale alludes to this, as Kirk and Spock vow that they will remain friends post-mind meld and sharing their hopes that they will serve together on a starship one day. Already, they express their intention to be loyal to each other. Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock will be bonded for the next 30 years through a 5-year mission in Star Trek, the original series and 6 Star Trek movies that span another couple of decades, with their last known time together in 2293 during Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. However, Star Trek Strange New Worlds executive producers and co-showrunners Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers also hope to create Star Trek Year One, a spin-off about Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock's first year in command of the USS Enterprise. The redefinition of how Kirk and Spock's friendship truly begins in Star Trek. Strange New Worlds Season 3's finale sets the stage for that possible spin-off, as well as everything to come in Star Trek, the original series and after. Thanks to Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, we now have the full context and understanding of Star Trek's most important friendship, and that Kirk and Spock know each other better than audiences otherwise could have guessed. For decades, one of the most sacred pillars of Star Trek has been the legendary friendship between Captain James T. Kirk and Commander Spock. Their bond has been analyzed, celebrated, and mythologized by fans since the 1960s. They were not just captain and first officer, but two halves of a greater whole, the emotional and the logical, the human and the Vulcan. Yet in recent years, with prequels like Star Trek 2009, Star Trek Discovery, and Strange New Worlds reshaping Trek lore, a question has lingered in fandom. How did Kirk and Spock truly become friends? Now, with the newest revelation in Strange New Worlds Season 4's finale arc, Star Trek has officially retconned their origin story in a way that both surprises and deepens the mythos. The once straightforward narrative of two men who grew into trust over time aboard the Enterprise has been replaced with something far more complicated, personal, and, dare we say, destined. In the original series, Kirk and Spock's friendship wasn't explained in detail. It was assumed to have grown naturally. Kirk took command of the Enterprise, appointed Spock as his first officer, and through battles with Klingons, Romulans, and countless cosmic anomalies, they forged a bond of respect. Kirk's loyalty and instinct balanced Spock's cool logic, and Leonard Nimoy's nuanced performance hinted at the affection Spock had for his captain despite Vulcan stoicism. By the wrath of Khan, Spock's sacrifice, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, cemented their relationship as one of the greatest friendships in science fiction. Fans never demanded an elaborate backstory. The simplicity was part of its power. The 2009 reboot movie gave audiences an entirely new angle. In J.J. Abrams' version, Kirk and Spock began as enemies. Kirk was a rebellious cadet, Spock a by-the-book officer, and their clash of temperaments was explosive. They didn't form a true bond until Spock Prime Leonard Nimoy from the original timeline nudged events, telling young Kirk that he and Spock were destined for friendship. This added a layer of fate. Their connection wasn't just natural, it was cosmic, written into the universe. Yet this was still the Kelvin timeline, not canon to the Prime universe of the TV shows. Fans debated endlessly, was this enemy-to-friends arc the new way to see Kirk and Spock, or just one interpretation? Enter Strange New Worlds. Since Season 2, Paul Wesley's portrayal of James T. Kirk has slowly been integrated into the show, first as a what-if alternate future captain, then as a recurring younger officer who crosses paths with Spock Ethan Peck. The dynamic fascinated fans. Here was Kirk, not yet captain, already developing a wary respect for Spock in surprising contexts. The Season 4 finale blew the doors open. In a shocking flashback revelation hybrid episode titled The Bonds of Logic, it was revealed that Kirk and Spock's friendship didn't begin aboard the Enterprise at all, but during a covert mission years earlier orchestrated by Starfleet intelligence. According to the episode, both Kirk and Spock were independently recruited for a classified operation involving a Romulan splinter cell testing illegal cloaking technology. The mission went disastrously wrong, stranding Kirk and Spock on a barren moon for 23 days. Forced to rely on each other for survival, they clashed repeatedly, Kirk's improvisational recklessness versus Spock's rigid adherence to Vulcan protocol. But over time, necessity forged understanding. Spock saved Kirk from dehydration by engineering a crude water condenser. Kirk saved Spock from exposure by dragging him through a dust storm against the Vulcans' protests. The two men reached an unspoken respect that hardened into a pact. Neither would ever speak of the mission again. This secret, buried under layers of Starfleet red tape, explains why in the original series their bond always felt stronger than a normal working relationship. They already knew each other in ways their crewmates did not. Their trust wasn't built from scratch on the Enterprise bridge. It was reforged in fire years earlier. Why the retcon works. For some fans, this kind of retcon could feel like tampering with canon. But the writers cleverly framed it not as a contradiction, but a revelation. The classic story that their friendship blossomed during their Enterprise service remains true on the surface. Yet beneath it lies the deeper, hidden foundation. It also enhances both characters. Kirk isn't just a swaggering daredevil. He's someone who once learned restraint from Spock long before becoming captain. Spock isn't just Kirk's foil. He once saw Kirk's humanity up close and had it shape his understanding of emotional resilience. Even their most famous moments gain new weight. When Spock sacrifices himself in Wrath of Khan, fans now see echoes of that long-ago moon, when Kirk once dragged a half-conscious Vulcan to safety. When Kirk risks everything to save Spock in the search for Spock, it's repayment of a debt that predates the Enterprise. The debate among fans. As with any bold lore change, the fandom is divided. Purists argue that the beauty of Kirk and Spock's friendship lay in its mystery. It didn't need an origin story. Others, however, welcome the emotional layering. In an era when audiences crave serialized character development, this retcon makes their relationship more mythic, a bond forged not just by chance, but by destiny and shared hardship. Memes have already sprung up calling it the Moon 23 Days Saga, while fanfiction writers are gleefully filling in the gaps of those long, tense conversations between Kirk and Spock under alien stars. Retcons in Star Trek tradition. It's worth remembering that Star Trek has always retconned itself. Klingon foreheads, the Borg Queen, Spock's siblings. Continuity has never been sacred so much as flexible. What matters is the spirit of the story. And this new twist on Kirk and Spock fits within that tradition. It doesn't erase what came before. It reframes it with richer context. Much like how Discovery redefined Spock's past with Michael Burnham, Strange New Worlds is ensuring that the icons of Trek remain alive, evolving, and emotionally relevant. Conclusion. Destiny in the stars. The retcon of Kirk and Spock's friendship isn't about rewriting history. It's about reminding fans why their bond has endured for nearly 60 years. It shows us that their connection was not random, nor entirely professional, but deeply human and Vulcan. Whether stranded on a moon, commanding a starship, or sacrificing everything for one another, Kirk and Spock embody the very heart of Star Trek. The idea that across boundaries of culture, logic, and even species, true friendship is not only possible, but essential. And now, thanks to this bold retcon, we know it began not just with a handshake on the bridge, but with survival, sacrifice, and a vow of silence that shaped two legends long before the galaxy knew their names. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.